Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. My name is Michaela, and today I am doing a very requested video since I uploaded that I bought a house. I was able to buy a house at 24, 25. My birthday happened like right in the middle of it. I've gotten a lot of requests to share how I was able to do it, what the steps were, what the process is like. So if you like videos like this, be sure to comment down below. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure the notifications are on so you don't miss a video. All right, I've got my little notes down and I'm going to take you through all of my tips that I have for being a first-time home buyer. I am not a professional. I don't claim to be a professional. I am just someone who is in their 20s who just bought a home. Like literally last week I closed on my house. So I wanted to make a video while everything was fresh and while I could remember these tips. The first tip I have for you is something that is going to take time, and it happens like years before you ever start to inquire about a house, and that is setting a budget and really being mindful of budgets and really going and sticking to a budget. So the journey for me to buy a home wasn't something that happened overnight. Obviously it is a very costly thing to do, and I wasn't able to just one day wake up and say I want to buy a house. I'd actually been saving, not necessarily to buy a house. Luckily for me, I'm a big saver. I don't really like to spend. I like to throw all my money that is extra into saving. So luckily for me, this has been something that I've been saving for over the years, but that is just my biggest tip for anyone who is looking to buy a house literally within the next year or two or maybe 3, is to just start with making a budget, going through and looking at your funds, everything that you don't need for bills or expenses, putting in savings, and then making sure that you're contributing things to your savings consistently. If you would like me to make a video over how I budget and how I've budgeted literally since I was like 18, leave a comment below like I said, and I would love to get into that. I'm a really big nerd when it comes to budgets and stuff. I would love to sit down and make a video if you guys are interested. Also, this is gonna help you to look at in the future about how much you're spending and about how much you would be able to potentially have a mortgage one day, looking at what you're paying for rent, etc. now, and then just like moving forward. Budgets are life. Next tip that I have for you will be kind of when you're getting into the process of, okay, I'm gonna be looking for a home very soon, and that would be just to research what area. There's towns all over the place. They have different property taxes. They have different, you know, they're closer to some things, proximity. There's just all kinds of stuff that goes into settling in an area, where your work is, how far away do you want to be, what type of neighborhoods that you would like to. So for me personally, there was 2 neighborhoods in the Memphis area that I wanted to buy in. They were really the only 2 places that I wanted to. I had narrowed down a city, and then I had narrowed down a neighborhood, and so I kind of knew that I wanted to be in this area, and if it took a month, great, and if it took 6, great, but I was just in that position to be able to start looking at the area and then also looking at the trends of that area. So how much are these homes selling for? What is the property value of what they're selling for? What are the property taxes like, etc. And that will give you a ballpark just about area. Obviously every house is going to be different based on its specific value or the renovations that were done to it. But if you just genuinely get in some of these different areas, you will just see like a roundabout for the price. The next thing is something that is going to make your life so much easier when you really get started at looking and putting offers on homes, and that is to get pre-approved. Kind of going back to things that happen way before you decide to buy a home. Another thing is your credit, which will be checked when you want to be pre-approved or approved by a lender. So just make sure that you are keeping up with your credit. If this is foreign to you, don't worry, it was foreign to me as well. I had no idea about a lot of the logistics or honestly what a pre-approval meant. So basically that is just where you submit documents to a lender company. They kind of give a way like very brief, because then later on when you actually get approved, you'll have to send them 1 million more documents. But this is just kind of an overview of how much you make, what is your debt to income ratio, and how much basically they're saying that like about how much they could offer you for a loan. That's gonna be the biggest thing, because A, it's gonna tell you about how much this company, the lending company, is even gonna give you to buy a home. B, if your credit is even good enough to buy a home. And then also when you are pre-approved, it just makes things a lot easier, because I know for the first house that I put an offer on, that is what they went back to. I put an offer on a home, and then there was another offer that was almost identical, and literally the people went back and talked to the lending company and wanted to make sure that the pre-approval was sound. So if I had not even been pre-approved for that, I know that that person would have definitely 100% already gotten it. The next thing was really big for me. So I'm just gonna be really like forward with it. I know a lot of people who have gone into the real estate market, they're real estate agents, and I 100% support them. But for me, I went with a man who I have been watching his children, babysitting, tutoring, etc. for over 6 years. So I know him, I know his family, he trusts me with his kids, so I knew that I could trust him with where I was going to be living. And it was honestly, he made my life so much easier. He was one step ahead for every single thing that needed to be done. And also he had worked with the lender, the lending company, the specific lender who was mine. And so everything just like literally was so put together. It worked so smoothly. And so anyways, just finding a really good realtor, finding somebody that you trust. For me, it was, I loved having Josh as mine, because literally he would be like, no, I don't want you on this street. No, I really don't like you on this street. And obviously he wasn't telling me, but he was genuinely looking out for like my well-being, my concern. He wasn't just trying to get me to buy a house, or he literally was like, if it takes months, it takes months, but I really want to get you a house at XYZ and set me up for the future of what I would want to do with this house if I ever were to move. So I cannot express how much easier he made my life during this process. Honestly, just talking me off of a ledge. I'm an anxiety, hot mess, anxiousness. So he was fabulous. If you are in Memphis and need a realtor, hit me up, because I got one for you. What I have is to list your non-negotiables, and these are things that you are just not going to budge on. These are things that you really want in your home. If you're gonna be spending this amount of money, then you need to be getting what you really want. So for example, one of my non-negotiables was the neighborhood. Like I said, I had 2 that I wanted. A non-negotiable was that I wanted 3 bedrooms. If a 2-bathroom is something that your family really needs, luckily for me, I'm one person, so my non-negotiables are gonna look different than like a family of 4's non-negotiables. But just really making a list of, I want this, I want this. I want this to come with appliances. I don't really care. I have it in my budget to buy appliances. I want a big backyard because I've got 3 dogs, or the yard size doesn't really mean anything, it's just literally me. I want to have a garage, I'm okay with a carport. So just go ahead and look at the things, and then that's a good time to kind of reflect on, do I really care? There are gonna be some things where it's like, I don't really care, but just going in and knowing exactly what you want is gonna be so much easier when you actually start to view the property. The last tip I have for you guys is honestly just to go into it and just breathe, because I learned very quickly that buying a home, especially right now in the Memphis market, especially for, like I said, the areas that I was interested in, it is an extremely hot market right now, and literally it's the seller's world. So one house, for this home that I got, there was 28 or 29 others behind me. So with that being said, as soon as a house goes up, it's gonna have like viewings like that. And so you just have to be very, very patient, and just understand that you may not, I think my friend had put down 6 or 7 offers before she finally got an offer accepted. And I put down 2, this was my second one, and it got accepted, but that was literally by the grace of God type of deal. Like, I 100% know that that's the only way it worked out. So just really know that it could happen depending on the market you're in. It could happen literally like the first week you start looking, or it could, you know, you could find a home that you love, or it could literally not be until another year. So just understand and have a game plan. Luckily, like for me, I was renting from a friend. I didn't have a time span, I didn't have a lease. So if my home buying process was going to take 6 months to a year, that was gonna be okay. But I know for other people, you just have to really trust the process. You have to understand that things are not gonna happen overnight. Another tip that I have is to check Realtor. I actually think I sent my realtor the link before off of realtor.com before he even said anything about this house. So if you're a crazy person like me, I checked realtor.com literally all of the time. A bunch of different other ones for me. It was Realtor. I literally checked it so many times. So you can find a lot of things. You can just search the places. That's a good place to like find what the market is in different areas, and also just like look at the different price points and what you can get for that. Look at homes that have been renovated, look at homes that have not. So yeah, I definitely recommend checking like a crazy person all of those websites. That is gonna be it for my tips for how to buy a home, or I guess like the process of buying a home for me. Tips, tricks, process, whatever you wanna call it, for how I bought a home when I was 24/25. And yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. If you want me to make more videos that are surrounding kind of like my home buying process, my home buying tips, budgets, closing costs, etc., please let me know. I would love to film them for you guys. But yeah, I love you, and I will see you in the next video.